Welcome. Have a nice day. Today is Monday, 23rd of December 2024. This day is celebrated as National Farmers Day in India, also known as the Kisan Divas in Hindi. This day is celebrated to honor the farmers and their contributions to society. It is celebrated on the birth anniversary of the Chaudhry Charan Singh, the fifth Prime Minister of India and a leader of the Indian farmers. National Farmers Day or Kisan Divas mark the birth anniversary of Chaudhry Charan Singh. Was born on 1902 actually in a middle-class peasant family in Nurpur, Meerut, Uttar Pradesh. Now from the world news, Trump threatens to reclaim Panama Canal, sparking tension. Turkish Foreign Minister says no room for Kurdish militants in Syria's future. Small plane crashes into shops in a Brazil tourist town, all 10 passengers killed. Shadow Minister Priti Patel wants China on United Kingdom national security risk list. Israeli strikes killed 17 Palestinians in Gaza, orders hospital to evacuate. Germany Christmas market attack suspect remanded in custody, 9-year-old child among the 5 dead. Now, starting the newspaper with the Hindu, Trump says it could be worth keeping TikTok in the United States for a little while. President-elect Donald Trump speaks at America Fest on December 22, 2024. The U.S. Senate passed a law in April month requiring TikTok's Chinese parent company ByteDance to divest the application citing national security concerns. President-elect Donald Trump indicated on Sunday, December 22, 2024, that he favored allowing TikTok to keep operating in the United States for at least a little while, saying he had received billions of views on the social media platform during his presidential campaign. Trump's comments before a crowd of conservative supporters in Phoenix, Arizona, were one of the strongest signals yet that he opposes a potential exit of TikTok from the United States market. Winter is hitting Gaza and many Palestinians have little protection from the cold. Amani Abuzadeh, forced from the left, feeds one of her children with a fried zucchini made over a fire made of paper and cardboard scraps outside their tents in a camp in Khan Yunus, Gaza Strip on December 19, 2024. Nearly 2 million displaced Palestinians in Gaza are struggling to protect themselves from the coming winter. Winter is hitting the Gaza Strip, and many of the nearly 2 million Palestinians displaced by the devastating 14-month war with Israel are struggling to protect themselves from the wind, cold, and rain. There's no shortage of blankets and warm clothing, little wood for fires, and the tents and patched together types of families are living in have grown increasingly threadbare after the months of heavy use, according to aid workers and residents. Shadia Ayada, who was displaced from the southern city of Rafah to the coastal area of the Muawasi, has only one blanket and a hot water bottle to keep her 8 children from shivering inside their fragile tent. We get scared every time we learn from the weather forecast that rainy and windy days are coming up because our tents are lifted with the wind. We fear that strong windy weather would knock out our tents one day while we are inside, she said. Russia captures 2 villages in Ukraine as Moscow's forces advance into cities. Russian services members set on T-72 tanks during military drills held at a fire range aimed at Russia-Ukraine conflict. Donetsk region is where Moscow is concentrating most of its efforts to seize 2 cities. Russian forces captured 2 villages in Ukraine, one in Kharkiv region in the northeast and one in the eastern Donetsk region, the Russian Defense Ministry said on Sunday. Donetsk region is where Moscow is concentrating most of its efforts to seize 2 cities. Now going to the Hindustan News, states that in Manipur conflict rise in Myanmar made weapons. The recovery of the Starlink antenna and router from a militant hideout in Manipur's Imphal district was not the only prohibited item suspected to be smuggled from Myanmar that Assam Rifles personnel recovered on December 13. The 5 stolen are marked made in Burma. That afternoon, the forces also recovered an MA4 assault rifle manufactured in the Myanmar and commonly used by the Myanmar army. Officials on the ground say they are not surprised because over the last 5 to 6 months, they have been recovering different types of Myanmar manufactured weapons and other equipment from militants and their hideouts in Manipur. The force also recovered Myanmar manufacturing bulletproof vests and military fatigues smuggled across the border. Farmers push for Supreme Court's help after Parliamentary Standing Committee backs MSP law. Farmers have been protesting for the months over several demands, including the legal guarantee of MSP on the borders of Delhi. Farmer leader Jagjit Singh Dalewal, who is on a fast unto death, and several protesting farmers' unions have urged the Supreme Court to ask the centre to implementing a Parliamentary Standing Committee's recommendation for legally guaranteed support price. In its report on demand for the grants 2024-25 tabled in the just concluded Parliament session, the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Animal Husbandry and Food Processing has picked the idea of the legally guaranteed minimum support prices MSP for farm produce, calling it essential. Inadequate ties elevated to strategic partnership during the Prime Minister Modi's visit. Ministry of External Affairs says Prime Minister Narendra Modi with his Kuwaiti counterpart Sheikh Ahmed Abdullah Al Ahmed Al Sabah during a meeting in Kuwait on Sunday. New Delhi, India and Kuwait on Sunday elevated their relationships of strategic partnership as the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Kuwait leadership focused on a roadmap to extend a cooperation in areas such as defense, energy, trade, investment and technology. During his meeting with the Crown Prince, Modi said India attaches utmost importance to its relations with the Kuwait. The two leaders emphasized on the need for close coordination at the United Nations and other multilateral forums. Modi expressed confidence that the ties between the India and the Gulf Cooperation Council GCC will be strengthened under the Kuwait's presidency of the bloc. Modi invited all 3 Kuwaiti leaders to visit India. Now, from the economic point of view, if it business as usual, a Vixit bar by 2047 will not happen. Raghuram Ranjan, the former Reserve Bank of India governor, spoke about a wide variety of topics ranging from the inflation to GDP to growth to impact of the possible global trade war under the president-elect Donald Trump's second term. Dr. Raghuram Ranjan, economist and a former governor of the Reserve Bank of India, during an interview with the Indian Express in New Delhi on 18 December 2024. Epigamia co-founder Rohan Mirchandani passes away at 42 due to the cardiac arrest. Mirchandani at alumnus of NYU Stern and the Wharton School founded Trum's Food International in 2013. Rohan Mirchandani, co-founder of the renowned yogurt brand Epigamia, passed away on Saturday after suffering a sudden cardiac arrest. He was 42. The sudden demise of Rohan Mirchandani has sent shockwaves through the startup community. Nita Ambani to champion India's global influence in India conference at Harvard. This year, the India conference at Harvard will feature over 80 distinguished speakers from diverse fields over the 2 days, exploring how Indian ideas and innovations are reshaping the global narratives. Nita Ambani's recent achievements, including hosting of the IOC session in India after 4 decades and championing India's bid for the 2036 Olympics. The global warming fight has a challenge for India from science and tech. India does not have a luxury waiting till 2070 at the pressure months for the peaking of the emissions. India's development needs cannot be ignored as it has a to grow and diversify its clean energy sources. This will mean higher costs and a longer transition time. The outcome of the climate conference COP29 in Azerbaijan has been disappointing. The meeting took place at a time of transition in American politics. While international climate negotiations remain stalemated, nature is moving inexorably towards becoming a hotter planet. Fight against global warming requires reducing emissions. Developed countries have accepted a 2050, China 2060, and India 2070 as a deadline for energy transition to net zero emission by 2070. The outcome of the Climate Conference 29 in Azerbaijan has been disappointing. The meeting took place at a time of transition in American politics, while international climate negotiations remain stalemated. Nature is moving inexorably towards becoming a hot planet. The fight against global warming requires reducing emissions. Developed countries have accepted 2050, 2060 China. Once again, India 2070 as a deadline for energy transition to net zero emissions by 2070. How much do the dark matter particles weigh? Hubble Space Telescope view of the galaxy NGC 2985. The evidence for the dark matter emerged in the 1970s when astronomers found an unusual pattern in the rate at which the stars in the galaxy rotated the farther they were fallen from the center. Physicists have revised the minimum possible mass of a dark matter particle is a significant update in the world of dark matter. Dark matter is an enigmatic invisible substance supplying 5/6 of the matter of the universe. Unlike photons, the particle of light, the particles of the dark needed to have non-zero mass, or else the dense and intricate structure of matter on the cosmic scales will not form. How light can dark particle then be? For decades, scientists thought this minimum mass was about 10⁻31 times the mass of a proton. But in May month this year, theoretical physicists revised the limit and pushed it up by an order of the magnitude to 2.3 to 10⁻30 proton mass. This is a significant update in the world of dark matter. From waste to energy to pollution, a flock of birds fly over the Yamuna on the smoggy winter morning in the New Delhi on December 2024. Delhi remains the most polluted city in India as of December 20. Air pollution in the capital is over 17 times the limit prescribed by the World Health Organization. According to official data, particulate matter PM2.5 can go deep inside the lungs, causing respiratory illness. Air toxicity also results in the increased incidence of cancer and miscarriages. The fight against the pollution remains unsuccessful despite efforts by the government and interventions by the Supreme Court. Air pollution in Delhi mostly originates from the human activities such as burning coal, petrol, diesel, and gas. Biomass in industries and coal-based power plants, kitchen smoke, vehicular emissions, large-scale construction activity, firecrackers, and the burning of the residual crops also vitiate the air. Although many of the major sources of the pollution are active throughout the year, the worsening of air quality during the winter happens with the temperature intervention. Heavier winds prevent pollutants from the scattering and keep them concentrated closer to the ground. At last, there's a famous personality, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, whose full name is All Pakistan Abdul Kalam. Birth anniversary 15th October 1931 up 27th of July 2015. Was an Indian aerospace scientist and a statesman who served as the 11th President of India from 2002 to 2007, born and raised in the Muslim family in Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu. He studied physics and aerospace engineering. He spent the next 4 decades as a scientist and science administrator, mainly in Defense Research and Development Organization and Indian Space Research Organization, and was intimately involved in India's civilian space program and the military missile development efforts. He thus came to be known as the Missile Man of India. For his work on the development of ballistic missile and launch vehicle technology, he also played a pivotal organizational, technical, and political role in India's push for second nuclear tests in 1998. The first seen as the original nuclear test by India in 1974. Kalam was elected as the 11th President of India in 2002 with the support of both the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party and the then opposition Indian National Congress. Widely referred to as the People's President, he returned to the civilian life of education, writing in a public service after a single term. He was a recipient of several prestigious awards, including Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian honor. While delivering a lecture at the Indian Institute of Management, Shillong, Kalam collapsed and died from an apparent heart cardiac arrest on 27th of July 2015, aged 83. Thousands, including the national-level dignitaries, attended the funeral ceremony held in his hometown of Rameshwaram, where he was praised with a full state honors. Mr. Kalam says a very famous quotation. He says that luxury and lies have a huge maintenance cost, but truth and simplicity are self-maintained without any cost. Okay, thank you.